Welcome back, everyone. Right, okay, it is final call for a one-day special, which has been... It's been one of those that really has rippled through the whole of the craft store because we're all so proud. And this lady here should be lifted high upon a cloud of love.
Aww.
Miss P herself.
Social distancing doesn't allow that, but you know, I'll consider myself lifted by all your comments. Thank you so much to everybody, and of course to the support from everybody. It means the world to me. It's something that has been in the making for 2.5 years, and to have it now and really kind of welcomed by crafters means the world to me.
It's honestly, it's just made all of our hearts sing. It really has. If you haven't yet been part of what is the phenomena of the Miss P Boundless Journal, you have a tiny window of opportunity to get in on this one-day special. It's still there, isn't it? When the graphics fell down there, I thought that's it. Oh no, it's over, it's done. But you just literally have this tiny, minuscule window of opportunity now to get the Boundless Journal bundle here, which is the one-day special. It's not going to last the hour. To be honest, we'll be lucky if it lasts 5 minutes. Paola, just while we've got the chance, just again, will you just walk us through the concept and what it is and how this is different for us?
Well, it is the whole way of doing this journal is that you only need the dies, a die cutting machine, an A4 die cutting machine, and card. That's all. You don't need glue, you don't need baker's twine, you don't need a crocodile, you don't need anything other. And of course, what it does, it has the pages in here. You can see there. And then you have the hinge itself. So that's another part of the die. So you can see that's another die. You fold it, creating that kind of V shape in here. It cuts and scores the lines. You then randomly put the pages in here. And then, this is the thing, there you have a die that is, well, you have two. You have got the key and the arrow that lock it all into place, and that creates the boundless journal. So you can do it as many pages, you can rotate them as many times as you want, because you have the die itself here that cuts and scores that hole. And then you have the spine that I just mentioned here, and then you have, of course, the locking mechanisms here. So all you need is card, the dies, and a die cutting machine.
Can I just tell you straight away, we are in single-figure territory, literally. You've got to jump upon this right now, even though it might not be obviously apparent. I mean, you must have been living in another planet for the last 24 hours if you haven't heard of this so far. But if you are brand new to it, secure it, get it sorted right now, and then, Paola, there is something like, well, it's like 6 hours worth of resources and different shows over the previous 24 hours that will show you absolutely everything. Do you know what I love about this as well? It's manageable journaling, it's imaginative journaling, it's quirky journaling as well. It's not one of those, I said yesterday, the thing that struck me most about this is the fact that you can actually start from as little as, you know, 2 or 4 pages and not feel overwhelmed of having to complete 60 or 80 pages. You can add to this as you want to. And when we say boundless, we do mean boundless, because you can go on and get bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh,
okay. So basically, you can expand it. So let's have a look. So you have also expanded, and that was one of the reasons, is because we kind of bring it in, and then you can glue them together if you wanted to as well. So there is boundless in terms of that you can bring more and more and more. So it's boundless because it kind of can come undone anytime you want to do it. But you can see here that the spine, then you could bring in elements into here, or you can glue them in different ways as well. And then there is another way that you can do it as well. So, you know, kind of right, so we have got here the element here I have die cut out of acetate. Now, if you want acetate, some of them will die cut instantly, some of them you just need a piece of card. Now, we have got some news. it's technically gone. Oh, I get to do that. It's technically gone. So if you have it in your baskets, please do check out your baskets. You will get it. Otherwise, you will miss out. Remember that the baskets auto refresh every 10 minutes. Now, all we have got left is the page panels, which you can use them on their own. You can see them there, 499, 305. That's the panels themselves. What you get, so let me show you a couple of samples that you have got here, like this, like say that one. So for instance, the panels is this part in here that you have, so you can die cut into it, the card, or you can create a kind of little cards like this. Now you also can bring in the panels here, which make a lovely way of bringing in. Let's kind of have like this. You can mix them and matching them, so kind of bring that in, and then you can create things that then you can bring into your cards, and that kind of is a perfect panel. There it is. Then all I need to do is to bring in, hey, you are a bit lovely. And that is like a card.
That's lovely. I'm a bit hearable again now, which is good. Sorry about that. I talk so many batteries flat. We've already just started as well. So this is all that's remaining now of the one-day special. But I say all, but actually if you wanted this, just to create those really, really funky pages, you've got so many possibilities with this.
Absolutely.
It really is beautiful. And do you know what? These, which make little paper clips, which can be photo corners, they can be embellishments, they can be, you can stick them anywhere to bring elements into your pages. They're genius, because actually I saw these yesterday and I thought you'd gone out and bought some of those funky little paper clips and bought them in. No, they're actually part of the die set, which is amazing.
Indeed. So my favorite is actually the one that features there, which is the hexagon, which you can put like this. You can see there.
How cool is that?
And it can be like a photo corner, so you can glue it like this. And then there we have got. There is a card there as well that
yes,
we have.
I'll find it.
There is one, because then you
got it.
this die cut as well, which is a hexagon, and then you have got the little hearts. Now, Julie Hickey, I have to thank Julie Hickey, who made this amazing card. And you can see, just with using that two dies that you have got on the set, look at how gorgeous, simple, elegant that is. I love this card so much. And by the way, a big, massive thank you to, of course, Julie Hickey for making samples, Sheila, Art Angel, Leslie, John, Lockwood himself, and Sam Oakes as well, because they have made amazing samples.
And they all made things that were completely and utterly different. The great thing is, I mean, actually, Paoli, you could have given one of these, if there were enough of them in the world, you could have given one to every one of the presenters here, and we would have all have come up with something completely and utterly different.
I mean, I have to say, I mean, I hope that she doesn't mind me saying, well, both of them, Catherine and Hayley, both they bought theirs, and that means the world to me. Like Tracy Evans, Tracy Hay, Abs himself, you know, so many people, so many of our peers, Lou Sims, Charmaine, and you know, so many, and it means the world to me, because it's like, that means that they can see the potential to using their own products, their own styles, their own possibilities.
Well, that's the thing, and we said this yesterday, didn't we, that any stamps, any dies, any stencils, anything you have from any of the companies that you see that feature here on Xander, from Clarity, we've got Clarity One Day Groovy Special coming up later on tonight at 6 o'clock. You can incorporate all of those skills, all of those elements into this, your favourite papers, your favourite cards, everything. It's brilliant. Right, OK, we're going to go through what we have remaining, because it is not a lot. Let me tell you, not a lot at all. So you've got the 9 dies here, and that gives you your 2 page panels. So that gives you your backgrounds, if you like. And then you've got these 2 beautiful elements. You've got one which is more floral, and then you've got the Geo one as well. And you've got all of the pieces that lift out of that as well, haven't you, to build up other projects too. You've also got these cute little paper clips, which are just beautiful. And, of course, the little Miss P love heart there as well. I'm sure there'll be more Miss P down the line as well. I'm sure she's working on something else. In fact, she kept this very, very quiet. I have to tell you, there are only a select band of people who knew about this before the one-day special. So it was such a lovely surprise, and well done, because I know a lot of you had to persevere to get those orders checked out, and you did it right the way through the night, as we predicted as well. People were checking out their orders. Now, here's your chance, $19.99, to get those fabulous dies there right now. honestly, you're going to love doing this. You're going to love the quirky shapes. You're going to love the versatility of this too. Right. So something else that we still have as well is your geo flowers.
And
again, these are stunning.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. I'm really bad.
It's your product.
No. Sorry. No, it's just because I wanted to mention, I haven't mentioned yet, geo is because it's geometric flowers, because it has that geometric kind of intertwine. Like, it's not geometric, so I didn't want to call it that. But it's kind of geo, because I just kind of wanted to make that name in there. So that's the reason.
And they are stunning because actually at the scale of these, if you think of the scale of the Boundless Journal, the scale of these are just absolutely perfect for that. It's actually on the lower half of this board here is the Geo Flowers set. We'll come to the botanicals on the upper side there. So all of these flower dies that you see here at the bottom. And look at how versatile, and it feels very, very different to the flower dies that you probably already have as well, because everyone loves a floral, don't they? These are brilliant. 13 different dies there for you, and they build up so beautifully as well, so you can add lots of dimension to your projects with these as well. 376309 is your item number for those at £9.99, and then we can go to the top half of this board, I guess, can't we? Which will give you your botanicals, and the botanicals are lovely because they're really nice, kind of, I mean, cut out in black. They're a really lovely silhouette, aren't they? They're really powerful.
I love using them. Basically, I tend to design everything with the computer, but these ones were based on doodles that I started doing, and then I kind of scanned them and kind of tracing them around. And what I wanted, it was like a simple vertical elements in there that I can incorporate. And I just love, if you see it, you can see the hearts, don't you? The flower with the little leaves, the hearts. So those ones are the ones that,
here.
And then in the little ones, yes.
It's so gorgeous because there's such a lot of power and delicacy and so many different contexts in which you can take these into as well. I like the fact that there is a nice, tall, strong vertical as well. That'll be brilliant for your card making, won't it? Because sometimes just that little thing, that little strength of sign in the centre of a design can make the real difference. 387108 is your item number for that one. There's plenty more as well on the web. Well, I say plenty more, there really isn't that much more, but we do have the Zinc dye sprays there as well. There's also the magnet set as well. 40 magnets there for £9.99 there from Crafts too. There's the John Next Door vacuum in different colours. There's Press to Impress. That's one thing that I definitely need to get onto my shopping list as well. So I've been looking for a show where that is. So I'll make sure I'll come back later, because so many people absolutely swear by the Press to Impress for accuracy when they're stamping. Comes with the magnets and everything else, and a nice little carry case there as well. It's a good price there at £34.97 with 5-star reviews by the looks of it as well. But anyway, let's come back to Miss P herself, because this gives us, with virtually nothing to offer you that you haven't already grabbed from Miss P and the Boundless Journals, it gives us plenty of time to, well, just lavish our time with demos.
Play around, let's do that. I think this is kind of fun because also it's kind of an opportunity to showcase the other dies. We have been talking about so much of the Boundless Journal. So this is the panel, the geometric pattern, and what I want to do is one of those ones that go inwards to the card. So I have cut 3 different pieces of cards, and I'm going to show you black, white, and lilac in here, the same size, roughly. Well, roughly not the same size. So what I'm going to start is I'm going to take that die out, and I'm just positioning in here. Now I'm going to die cut it because what I want here is the frame, the outer element. So I'm going to take it with put my low tack tape inwards. That's the top tip. I always repeat it myself, and I do apologize. Some people like Nikki Brown, that she's messaged me yesterday on Facebook, and she came to one of my first classes, craft classes at Creative Pastime, which is a shop that no longer exists. But it was in 2005, and I was teaching die cutting. So I have been repeating the same thing for how much, like 16 years now? So it's just a bit. But this is the thing, if you put the low tack tape inwards, even if it kind of tears a little bit of the paper, it will be on the bit that you don't want.
Yeah.
If you put it in, if I wanted to keep this piece, I would have put the low tack tape on the outside to protect it, right?
Yes, yeah.
Then what I'm going to do is take the low tack tape, then always when I do this inward cards, I start the top layer, create the bigger aperture, then you place the next layer down, because then you can position it in absolute the perfect spot. That is, if she does everything as correctly as possible. So hold them two cards together. Can you see there? Then secure it in there, more or less there. Secure it. And this is important. I would put a second piece of card to make sure, even a third one of low tack tape to secure it well, because that's important that it doesn't move. And of course, this is a leftover for another card. So don't worry, nothing gets thrown out.
I love the fact that actually the shape of it is a little bit 3D as well, isn't it? You know, it kind of just sends your imagination off in different directions.
It's like a perspective.
Yes.
It's the perspective
Yeah,
that
yeah,
gives
like it's
you
animated.
an illusion of movement and that kind of in the horizon. Then we have here the elements. Now, this is where the vacuum. Now, this vacuum, obviously for the larger pieces, no, but this is really good for also those bits that kind of have a stock.
Yeah.
This I absolutely adore, but there's a bit, because it kind of gets rid. So then I can go in and get rid of the little pieces that have got stuck into the card.
I
But
think
look
that one
at
needs
this.
emptying as well. You've been well using that one, haven't you?
It does. It's been very well loved. Yeah, I should kind of put it, but I really like that. Then look at that. I love this pattern so much. It's Japanese, traditional Japanese pattern. And then you have the there like that. So if you wanted to create a window, a perfect window, you can just position it like this and then kind of put acetate and then create like a shaker card.
Yeah.
Or now I'm kind of thinking it would be really nice to have a window. You can do that, and then you can do, but you're thinking, but I want solid here, I want solid elements. You can take that hexagon here, and I'm going to show you exactly where it is. So that hexagon is this one here. So die cut out of here. And then you turn it over, and that hexagon is slightly larger than the die cut.
Oh, okay. So you can cut it out of anything.
Bring it in, and then you can glue it even as a floating element. It's not paper piecing, because paper piecing would be attached to the card. So basically, this would be glued to this side, and then we have there. And by the way, the fine applicators, they're really good to get that glue just where we want it. Can you see how then I have this bit here, and when I go with, for instance, a piece of green, I have got the perfect element. So this could be floating in there, or you can just leave it as it is. It's up to you. I kind of like it on top of here, so it didn't need that, but I just wanted to show it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it together. So I'm going to put the glue, and look at, with the fine applicator, it's just so good because you can refill it time and time again. You are getting the tip that goes in and keeps it always clear. And I love that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And it comes with one of the tacky glue, super tacky glue from, of course, Crafts Artist, from Crafts too.
Nice.
In there. So I'm going to
That's
put it
good,
on
isn't it,
top.
for $9.99?
I'm going to put it in there. Now, if you want it, I'm going to bring in the guillotine as well. We have it in the show. Now, we kind of going to put, I'm going to just do it around like a little bit, a square there, a square width there, and then kind of going to go in there. And I really love this guillotine. I love a guillotine because it kind of gives a sharp cut. And I always have, I will say it, if I have to have in a kind of a craft bag, I will have an 8.5 inches, which is this one guillotine, and then I like to have a trimmer that is a 12.5 inches, which we do have also on the show. I don't know where I put mine, but we put it, because then it's just, I'm going to show you why. What is it? What is my one? Oh, here, trimmer. Because the trimmer allows me to do this. The next thing is going to be, so for instance, I want to create a blank card, and you can see that I'm just following those kind of elements in there. I'm going to put it here. So I'm going to open this up, and of course I could cut with it, but also what I can do is, what is my scoring tool? kind of go in through the groove in here. Can you see it here? And that creates a perfect scoring line. So I don't need to bring a kind of a scoring tool.
Oh, that's good, because that's less bulky then, isn't it?
It is bulky. And also, if I have to cut a bigger piece of 12 by 12, I still can do it. So I will do, this is mostly for the scoring and the cutting the bigger pieces. And then for the smaller pieces, I will do this. And then let's put this in here. So this, I'm going to just put it, so kind of see where it goes there. So I'm going to make a mark here. Okay, so I'm going to put it there. I haven't done it perfectly, but you know, kind of. Okay, so I'm going to make, what is my pencil? Yeah, then I'm going to put a mark here again, right? And then I can see it. Then I'm going to cut it. So that mark, now I cannot see it because I didn't use a pencil, did I? But, you know, don't worry. I'll get it. That then will
that trimmer,
be...
that's the one that Leonie uses all the time.
Yeah,
as well,
it is because she likes a trimmer. She likes it because she's lefty. So
yeah,
therefore, a guillotine doesn't work that well for a lefty. It's very, with a trimmer, you can use it as a lefty.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Do you know what? That's so true. Yeah, I've got a guillotine, and I'd never thought about why I struggle with it so much. And it's because it's on the right-hand side. It's the way you have to look, and it's like it's unnatural for a lefty.
Exactly.
Yes.
So then I have this. Now, I could leave it like this, and I will still stand, but I need to trim that bit. Or I can do what I'm going to do now, which is to trim this bit here. And then I have a completely random page, funky. But that is the thing. Sometimes we want something a little bit different.
Like it, yeah.
And then we can do some of the botanicals. We can bring them in here and intertwine them. So then kind of bring them in here and then bring them in there and then bring them in here. So we have the little hearts in there. 2 hearts there. You can glue them, of course you can.
Yeah,
and then I'm going to just bring one of the stickers from Leonie because I just love them. And then it's kind of, what is it?
Yeah, you'll find those on the website as well.
Yes.
I think you literally just search the word Leonie.
Yeah, Leonie. Leonie. No, Leonie. No, Leonie. I just gone Catalan. No, Leonie, because that sounded very...
Catalan meets Lancashire.
Yeah, exactly.
It was quite good, though.
It was kind of fun. What I got to say? Ooh.
If you can perfect a Lancashire accent, Paola, it'll be genius.
Well, I can say... OK, I can say one word from Barnsley.
Barnsley?
Barnsley. I mean, it's not a proper word.
OK, go on then.
Waffle? Or waffle?
Did that start with a W?
Yes.
Love it. Very good.
Like
very good.
Okay, so let's kind of this one. What else? Be kind. Be kind. That's kind of you know. And then of course we have this one in here. Be kind in there. So we have just a quick, easy card, completely random. But of course, you can incorporate, like we were doing before. Let me finish that card that I did at the beginning, because then if we kind of bring this one, so that one is the other panel that we have cut. And then that white element in here, I just think that will work really well. So can I do this? Can I just glue it together?
Yeah, of course you can.
Then we have 2 cards in there here. So I'm going to just put a little bit of glue. Again, this dispenser is so good. You have the bottles. You have got 2 bottles of the same size. You have the wider nozzle. I prefer the wider.
Yeah, I've got them here. I've got them here, actually, yes. I would do some work while I'm here. I'm too busy just watching. But yes, this is really, really good. And actually, what you can see from Paola's demonstrations as well, just how long that fine tip applicator is as well, which is really, really good because sometimes you really do need to get in and underneath the fine detail of die cuts, and sometimes the fine tip applicators are not long enough. These are a good, what, 1-2 inches long, if not, yeah, it's probably about 1.5 inches long, something like that, which is great. And you get plenty of glue in there, and you get some of the super tacky glue as well with that. All of that for $9.99. That is a wise investment. I have to say, I've got fine tip applicators in my life, and they're worth their weight in gold, because it just means that you're not spending half of your life covered in glue. You know what I mean? You'll still be messy, but, you know, just less so.
Absolutely. And this one, of course, I'm going to finish. I'm going to use the, hey, you're a bit lovely.
I was just thinking, actually, this might be this hour might be a good opportunity for anybody that has got their one-day special, that has like a nagging question that, you know, in all the hurrah of the last 24 hours, you've not had time, because it's been pretty frenetic, and we've all got very, very giddy with excitement over Miss P one-day special. So if you couldn't get a word in edgeways to that so far, and you wanted to get a question in, this hour would be a good opportunity to do that, actually. It's studio@thecraftstore.com to get your emails in. I'm sure everyone's really, really excited to get their one-day special. If you manage to get the larger bundle as well, which I know we shouldn't really speak of because that's long history. That was history in the early hours of this morning. You know, please do, you know, get your comments in. We would love to hear from you.
So, well, basically, I have done 2 very quick and easy cards.
Love it.
And that's the thing, because the panels give you this. Do you want me to go straight into the next demo? Okay.
Well, I'll have a little recap of the little that is left, if that's all right with you. We'll start with the 9 dies then, just to explain what this is. So this is the two outer dies. Do go over or do cut out these larger page pieces for you as well. And this is a really, really nice funky shape to work with. You can work with it any way around, of course. And then you've got the 2 panels that fit within those page designs as well. So if you've got the boundless journal, if you've managed to get the one-day special or the big bundle or whatever, then of course these work absolutely perfectly with those. Plus you've got these other elements. You've got the little love heart there. You've got the little funky paper clips. Plus you've got that hexagon which cuts out slightly larger than these pieces here, as Paola was just showing you on that previous demonstration there. All of those, 499305 is your item number. There's not much more left in the show, to be honest with you. We still have the Geo Flowers die set, which is the ones here at the top. And they are really, really cool as well. They're a lovely scale. So if you've got the Boundless Journal, they're going to be perfect scale for the Boundless Journal. 13 dies in total, lots and lots of lovely, gorgeous delicacy. And you can see hearts run all the way through what Miss P does as well. So you've got the little heart shapes within the flower petals there as well, which is really, really cute. So that's 376309. And if I flip that the other way around, on the top there, we have then got the botanicals. And the botanicals are really, really good because they're actually really strong stems, and they're really interesting shapes as well. You can work with lots of other flower dies that you will have as well. And I love the fact that you've also got the hearts there included. So in terms of elements, probably best to go for both of those, to be honest. It's up to you completely. But the botanicals is 11 dies, and it's 387108 at $9.99. Let's carry on. Let's go for a little walk. We have got the magnets. Magnets are brilliant for closures. It might be for your Boundless Journal as well. You might want to use magnets if you've used a larger spine on your Boundless Journal. And there are loads and loads of reasons to have magnets. And it's all about size and scale, isn't it? It's all about depth or lack of depth with magnets that really makes them magic. So Crafts2 always got the right answer for you. 40 magnets there for you. And they are 8mm by just 1mm. And it's the depth of them that's really key here to keep them low profile. 773255 is your item number. Lots more on the show. Here's the guillotine. Really, really nice. I mean, it sounded really, really sure and secure as it was going down, didn't it, when you were using it there? It almost sounded like it was sharpening itself as we go along. It's brilliant. 773200. In fact, a lot of these guillotines do. It is self-sharpening. Yeah, you could almost hear that, couldn't you, happening, which keeps it a long life guillotine as well. We also have the trimmers on the show. Now, this is another one I need to add to my own shopping list as well. So you actually get 2 different sizes in this bundle as well. So the larger one you saw with Paola earlier, plus a smaller one as well. So just grab and go one. 073224 is your item number there for £21.98. So again, a nice saving there. Crafts too. It's like the right tools designed by crafters for crafters, isn't it? So they do the job, which is brilliant, bringing crafts to you. Did that work? Yeah, it did. Sort of, didn't it? Right, so 073224 is your item number. Miss P, back to you.
Oh, I was looking at something, just the measurements. Now, so we had a question from Gemma about the Xander. The Xander is from the One Day Special that is not available anymore, the boundless journal. But is this piece here, or basically this die that will cut this element. And this is, you can see here, it cuts and scores it. What I designed it for is because I thought, for instance, imagine that you have done 3 art journals that are all with pictures from one day, or you want to bind them together. You don't want individual ones, you want them to be together. So what you do is you kind of put the glue on the inside flap here, and there you can see it here. And then what you do is you insert it into the spine you have created, or the hinge there, and then press it down. Now that will glue to the hinge in the inside. And then you do the same thing on this one. So you put glue here and there, and then you take the next journal, and then you glue it, you insert it inside, and of course that will attach itself to the inside page. Then we have, like in this case, we want to attach 3, and this is why you put it on the inside one. And then you put it the same way inside here. And the reason why you do it this way and not creating a spine itself, I'm going to show you in a second, hopefully it will work. I mean, obviously I'm fingers and thumbs because I'm on TV, but and that happens that way. It's because, okay, so I'm just going to be being a little bit messy here, but you kind of understand the concept. By gluing like this, what happens is that you still can open the hinge and undo it.
Okay, yes, so you can still carry on working on those individual pages.
And not only that, that if you wanted to do that, you could still take this, out of it if you wanted to, with that spine as well.
Okay.
But you don't have to destroy the whole book. Whether if you had the spine itself, like covering the whole thing, if you have put it like this, then it would create, first of all, it would be different width, so you could only have that limitation. With this, you can make as many as you want.
And of course, the whole concept of the One Day Special is boundless.
Exactly.
So literally, you could make a journal that was, I mean, it would be ridiculous, but you know, like 2 meters long, your journal could be.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Guinness World of Boundless Journal.
Absolutely.
Hey, you could have a record attempt, couldn't you?
Absolutely, you
Who's going to make the longest boundless journal?
Right, but then you have to make sure that when you put this, you kind of go through it, and it will go through it, but I'm not going to do live on air because it's just not... Right, now with the One Day Special, you do not get instructions on it because it's one of those ones that I don't like to do in written instructions, but there are going to be tutorials online. I'm going to put the shows that we have done on Xander on my YouTube, which is very small at the minute, but you know, hopefully it's going to grow.
But also the Facebook, you did a Facebook Live in advance of the One Day Special, and I found that really, because there was no one like me getting in the way and interrupting, and it was just you talking it through. Here's element 1, here's element 2, here's how it all goes together, here's what you can do with it, and that's a really good. So if you are on Facebook,
crafting together with all brands.
Yes.
And if you want to share any of your makes, Crafting with John Next Door and Crafts2 is a Facebook group that, of course, is by John, but because it's the Crafts2 family, you can please put there just hashtag Miss P Loves, or you know, put me as well on it. I'm on Facebook and all the social media, so if you look for me, you will find me, and you know, just tag me. Ask me any questions. If you need any more of Facebook Lives, I could probably do a couple more and see how it goes.
And we've got a picture to show you, I do believe. This is from Sheila. Now, Sheila's used the botanicals and she's stenciled around them. Oh, now look at that. So she's doodled around them.
Yeah.
What a brilliant, brilliant idea.
I love that. There is so many ideas, and the botanicals. I'm going to show if you shall I show some another idea out here?
Yeah, go for it,
now
yeah.
the panels again, you can join them together if you want them with washi tape. Now, if you are remember, washi tape is removable. So if you wanted to make it permanent, just use glue all the way through. And you know when you were saying how you know it's nice to have a long metal nib for your glue because
Yes.
you kind of got, that's definitely the case, because sometimes we have a little element that needs to go, like for instance, imagine that you have this element here and it's glued, and you can go then underneath it as well.
Yeah.
Right, so kind of gonna go in, and I just put double glue because I just needed to make sure that it kind of stays down, and then glue it there, and then we have a little card as well like this. So we have got a notepad, not cards, just cut like that.
Yeah,
so there
just a
is
lovely
that element
page.
in here.
Yeah.
Then there is another thing. So let's bring the flowers and the botanicals. I know I have done this demo before, but I just wanted to showcase as well the elements that we have got here. So we have the botanicals. The botanical, this one comes in with the solid, so that will overlay together. So then you can, with this, you can bring in your glue line in there, just kind of spray, and that will match perfectly this element here. So then this could go like this there.
See how, I mean, and look at how simple that, I mean, that washi tape is
Beautiful.
Where is that washi tape?
That one is Elle's, one of Elle's Elizabeth Craft
it's
designs.
Stunning. I mean, it's a really, really strong. We had some all in create as well in the last.
Absolutely.
In the 2 o'clock
as
Leone
well,
hour as well. So really, really lovely. But it just shows you like a simple piece of washi tape, and then something as elegant as this takes it from being something that is going in a very, very floral sort of garden-y direction, and makes it really, really funky, doesn't it?
It does. So then what you can bring them here like so, and you have, and you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna want to glue them, so I'm gonna go in and then glue those bits. Again, that point that you were talking about, that kind of holds
Yeah,
it
being able
there.
to get underneath.
Being able, that's very important.
Well, sometimes you've stuck a detailed die down, and you don't realise at the time you're putting it down that you did miss a bit, and a bit lifts. So that fine tip applicator, with it being so long, can reach the parts others can't.
Absolutely, and they kind of put in this, and then kind of trim it then. Now, of course, it needs a sentiment in here. So then what I'm going to do is, you know, the stamp press, the impress to impress. Now, I love this one. There is many reasons, and I own 3-4 different types. The reason why this one I absolutely adore is you have got the foam base in here, which is perfect if you have photopolymer stamps. If you don't have photopolymer stamps, you have got red rubber with cling foam mount. You can use this, and I'm going to show you in a second because I have got some of those ones as well, so I can bring them in as well. And I'm going to put a sentiment, and I'm using Tracy Hay, which you can find on the website, Tracy Hay Applicable. So I'm just going to go this one is so totally me, because I'm going to say totally winging it on a daily basis. Because that's just what I have been doing for the last, I'm going to put it, where shall I put it? Oh, shall I put it there? I kind of like it there. Okay.
Oh, lovely Sue sent us a message saying it's just been a pleasure to watch all of the Miss P shows. She's loved them all. Oh, she bought it before she sold out. Well done. It took some very, very determined viewers and customers, because we had our, you know, we've had our issues, haven't we, in the last 24 hours. Hopefully all sorted now. So yeah, I think there were some people who stayed up especially late last night, Paola, to make sure they didn't miss out.
It's funny because I had one message me. I think it was the Everett. She's like, you know, she was watching lunch and watching, and then I think at midnight or something like that, she bought it. You know, and I was like, okay, so that's really lovely. Like somebody says, right. So you can see that I stamp it in there, and now I want to use my my red rubber, in this case grey rubber, so I take the foam up, but I still can use my magnets in here, and then I kind of go in, and I just wanted to use a little bit of the element here, so I'm going to take out this, and then of course you can use these ones. Now I'm so prepared, I'm impressed with myself. Which is your favorite color, green, pink, yellow or blue?
I think yellow would be nice, because it's a bit of a yellow time of the year at the moment, isn't it?
Oh, fossilized amber. We are
Why
going
not?
for fossilized amber. So
rare and gorgeous, just like you.
Oh, I should have said. I mean, then kind of put it in here. Look at that, that creates that element. So this is and then I'm gonna go in with a larger one. This is just chocolate baroque stamps, and you can see in here how I'm bringing them into it, and you can use them with this press to impress in here. Now, shall I go for a slightly greener, this color, or shall I go for another color or blue? Derek, options.
What about a blue? I don't know, it feels like a huge responsibility now.
Well...
Remember, I'm the one that's not at all artistic.
Well, who is crafting? Who was, when you were in the wilderness, messaging me that you have discovered crafting?
Very true. Very true.
There we have, and I kind of love that. I absolutely adore that kind of element. So you can see here.
Thanks for shining the torch into the dark forest, Paola, and rescuing me.
We are so happy that you've seen the light and come back to the light. Anyway, so we are putting this aside, and you can see there. Now you can bring the flowers. So then we are going to bring the tiny ones that we have got here. Let's see.
Can I be nosy, Miss P?
Yes.
Because obviously, you know, this is Miss P episode 1, which is coming to a close right now. But obviously, this is going to start something, isn't it? So what else is rattling around up there undiscovered that will be Miss P Part 2, do we think?
Well, I think that it's important to make sure that the journals can become bigger and smaller. So pages that kind of work together. And then we also, I kind of really like the idea to create, well, things that I like that can be shaped pages that you can then insert them into the journal, but they are slightly different, more flutterby, let's say.
So we're talking further additions and possibilities to our Boundless journal. So this is only this is only Boundless episode 1 then.
Yep.
This will be an ongoing saga. That's brilliant as well, because you know, to know that you were there right at the beginning, I mean, that's special. And actually we know how this shape and this configuration of shapes so popular and so quirky. And you said to me, you know, like, it's not a new idea at all. And I was like, well, do you know what? It really is. It's such, because of its boundless possibilities, and because you don't have, you know, I said to you yesterday, if you put a journal in front of me, a journal book, it's got 80 pages in it, I'm going to feel a huge responsibility to fill every one of those 80 pages, and I'll feel bad and guilty, and it'll be a pressure that builds up on my shoulder until it's all completed. I can start with one single page here and then go as I want to, and I've already got loads and loads of different ideas for it.
Absolutely, and that's the reality of it, that you can then bring in, you know, all these elements, building it up, all the accessories, they will be able to use them for across the board. I know as well, you know, one of the things that we have not mentioned, for instance, you have a card that is folded. Now, all the things kind of mix and match. You have got a card that is folded. You can bring in one of the dies in here, and then you kind of bring it in here. And you can see that this one is going to work like this, but then what if I put it like this in here? Maybe it doesn't matter that kind of breaks it down. I just make sure that the fold line is within there. So kind of there it is, and then kind of go in and then kind of go, and you have got so many different ways of using these dies. It's not just for what they are meant. Think about outside the box, because that's the whole idea of this, is that mixing and matching to bring in to life. Oh, there's another thing that I wanted to show you. There was another technique. Do I have time to show another technique?
Of course you have, darling.
But this is kind of the way. Okay, so I'm gonna say this in here.
There's nothing left but you now, Paula.
Oh, well. And then you can see, well, I have been a little bit rough with the type, but you can see that I have created, you know, that we have a card that is shaped like that. So random shapes as well. So then it's like, if you have randomness, you know, randomness, you can do randomness if you want.
See, I think this would be amazing for creating children's books.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they are a funky shape, because you can cut out the pages in card, in fabric, in other kind of textures and mediums. You can throw anything at this, so you can make something that's truly, truly. And I was saying this yesterday, whether you've got the one-day special or whether you've just got the page dies here, you can create something that feels really keepsake really quickly. Do you know what I mean? Something that feels like it's heirloom, something that feels like it's distinctive. It's brilliant. And you're just going to really enjoy making the projects out of it. That's the fun, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You haven't got to do any maths, any kind of complicated, right, OK,
Yeah.
E equals MC squared. You haven't got to do any of that.
And there's another point. This is kind of like, you know, making a cut and inserting like a hinge. That's not something that I invented, obviously. But the fact that you have a die that cuts a square, like
Yes.
a hole that is not just, it means that you cannot rip it. It means that the fold doesn't kind of pour away. It means that you can do it quick and easy. Leonie was saying, it's like, she kind of would do one journal with that, but then the pages wouldn't look. With this, just it's quick, it's quick, it's quick. You can do, I mean, how many journals I have made over, I mean, literally you can make a journal in 20 minutes. And also, the other thing that you can do is make sure that you do a lot of, what I say is like using all those bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Papers that you have from the past,
Yes.
you know, things like that. You don't have to, you know, kind of make sure that the paper is perfect. No, just make the most of it.
And
now,
you can use everyone's paper as well. You know, sometimes
Absolutely.
when you're making a project, you feel like, because it was that company's project, that you must use just the elements from that company. You feel a bit naughty if you used a stamp
Yeah.
from someone else or whatever. Where with this, you know that actually, because of the way it's being created, because of who has created it, because of the collaboration and the way all of the demos have been made, that you can throw literally everything at this. Your papers from Graphic 45, your Groovy system from Clarity,
would
you know,
look
your All and
amazing.
Create stencils. You get them all in there and just make a wonderful, wonderful carnival.
Absolutely, and this is another thing with the, like, I haven't done it, but I should have done it. You know, the same way that we showed, what is it, this one here, for instance. Here's this journal, and then we put the mat and layer on top. You could create an aperture, so this could be like a hole in here, a bit like this one, if you know what I mean. So then you could have two, and then that could be in between your ruby. Your ruby could be suspended with with two of them. So that way you have that floatiness, so you have got that perfect element in here. The one technique I wanted to show you, this is a technique that I have done a few times. But I don't know if I have done it on air ever. I might have, I don't know. So basically I take the botanical. You could trim it in here. And then like this, and then you can then bring in, if you wanted to create a little bit more of a shape in here, there, like this. And then what you do is you take, and this is another reason why the fine applicator is so good, is because then you can bring in, again, you bring, the fine applicator is great, the applicator itself, but it's the little attachment, the lid with that non-clog element. Now, then I have the floristry wire, and this one I think is one of the thinnest one. I think it's maybe 32. And then you kind of cut it. And then you do the same thing for all the branches. Kind of glue them, hold them there, and that kind of let it there.
Oh,
so
okay.
then what you have left is something like this that has got that shape. So then you can shape it in different ways. So it creates like a wire.
That's a brilliant idea.
So this is like this one. So kind of.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Because I use paper, but you can use obviously card. But paper gives you more mobility.
Yeah.
So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my mixed media mat in here, trying to go as many techniques as like these that I had planned as possible for this last hour. Because right, so I have got here. So I'm going to put my step after, this one is the spring green in here, and then I'm going to bring the emerald in here, and then I'm going to go in with water, spritz the water in here. This is not watercolor card, but then kind of bring it in, and then kind of bring in those greens, those kind of elements in here. Now you need to let it dry. I'm not do like I'm going to do, which is kind of bring it out, but you need to just kind of mix it up, let it kind of cool, and of course because we have done the wire, that will give it a lot of shape as well. So then it kind of dries, and this is why it's better to do it with paper, photocopier paper, than a card, because then it has got more natural kind of ridges in here.
Yeah.
Here. So
Could you also do that technique with, I mean, is it possible?
Yeah.
With your die cuts, where I can't remember who I've seen doing it, but they cut it out in foam, the die cut, and actually make a stamp out of it.
Absolutely,
so you could do that, could you?
can do that as well. But this, then you turn it over, and right. By the way, I kind of will say it again. Now, there is only one die, but it's the main page die from the Boundless journal that requires an A4 die cutting machine. So if you bought the whole collection, you need an A4 die cutting machine. Okay, so let it dry, and kind of it's getting very heavy with water, so then you should stop it, dry it, let it dry. And of course, the wire will mean that even once it dries, like here, we have it there, it has, even though it's paper, it has that mobility in there. So you can create something like this, or then you can bring it into a card, and if I put it like this, you can see it maybe there. You have
oh, that's cute. Yeah, because you get the shadows as well then, don't you?
There.
Yeah.
Because you have got the wire that kind of shapes it, and it won't go down. And of course, then if you wanted to.
And remember, all of these techniques you can build into your journaling as well. So,
absolutely,
you know, it can be card making, it can be journaling, it can be absolutely everything. This could be decor, couldn't it, in a frame?
Absolutely. And then you could bring in, for instance, the flowers, the tiny flowers that we have in here. So you can put them in there, or these ones are a little bit too big. So we have got even smaller ones in here. So you can see it here. That you can put them in there, and then add little flowers in there, or just leave it simply. And this is, of course, the ones that they have sold out, which is the arrows. But then, of course, you can then put arrows in here. You can put the heart. There is so many ways of using it. This is kind of just a little bit of just inspiration, randomness.
A bit of play.
Having a play.
And that's what you've got to do, isn't it? With something like this, that's what you've got to do. If you've got your one-day special, phenomenal. If you've got the page panel dies, which are still there and still available, so that's that 9 dies. So it cuts out the two page shapes, plus then you've got these detailed dies as well. So you've got that lovely sort of tree die, and you've got the geometric one as well, plus the hexagon and the little paperclip dies as well, plus the little love heart. It's fantastic. Get hold of these if you can, because there'll be more to the Boundless Journal story as well to come. When?
That's the $1 million question.
It's too early to ask the question, isn't it? Because we've just had the most phenomenal 24 hours, and I know there's a lot of people and a lot of love gone into the last 24 hours, Paola, as well.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody again, Peter and Jane at Crafts 2, John and Sam, the design team, and you know, Julie Hickey, everybody who has done. Do look online as well. We have got lots of inspiration, especially you know, everybody has put their pictures up in their accounts. So please, thank you everybody who has seen the potential of the Boundless Journal, because that's That's been a long time in the making, so I'm really happy to see that everybody has embraced it.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that everyone has fallen in love with as well. Absolutely, this building has been a whole buzz for the last 24 hours, let me tell you, with the Boundless journals. I mean, there are just so many different ideas that you can create. You can just have lots and lots of fun. It might be holiday journals, it might be Christmas journals, it could be absolutely anything, celebrations of anything. You're just going to have great fun making them. They're going to be absolutely brilliant. So well done to everyone that got them. And don't forget as well, if you are on Facebook, get yourself onto, is it Crafting Together with All Brands?
Yes.
And you'll find the original Facebook Live where Paola was sort of previewing the Boundless journal coming up. And that's a really good step-by-step. Plus, of course, on Rewind, the shows over the last 24 hours. But if you want one uninterrupted with just Paola and you, as you get your Boundless journals, then that will be the video to watch. Paola, it is done. Massive congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you.
It's just been incredible. It's been incredible to be part of as well. And thank you. And please, when you've made your Boundless journals, share them with all of us. We all want to see them. We all want to make them as well. That's going to be the absolute joy of these. Listen, if you've got anything in the show, and look through everything that's Craft 2 in this hour as well, because there's lots and lots of tools and goodies and inks and all sorts, and get those checked out. What a phenomenal 24 hours. And there is much more to come from Miss P, you know.